A nation that is afraid to let its people judge the truth and falsehood in an open market is a nation that is afraid of its people. As president, I'm not afraid of the people, but I am afraid of the government stepping in and regulating content. Let the people decide, let the market decide, let the First Amendment flourish.
The next generation of great talk radio, the undisputed leader of the new school, individual patriot first, conservative second, Republican third, and working every day to make this the most popular program because it's based on one thing and one thing only, and that is rational thought.
Now is the time to ask about the responsibility of the media to deal well with the trust that we gave them. Now is the time to open the question of the fairness doctrine again.
There are the powerful elite in this city who don't like what happens on talk radio. Makes their lives uncomfortable.
Talk radio defined it without us.
Talk radio, or in some cases, hate radio.
We're actually shooting a documentary on talk radio and the First Amendment. This is the ad that says, General Petraeus or General Betray Us. This was put in the New York Times by MoveOn.org. And not one Democrat has come out to repudiate this ad. To say that, well, you can't really condemn the Democrats from Move On, I can't. These people are controlling their party. They bought it. They paid for it. It's theirs. So when they put this ad in the New York Times, it's their ad.
The most important issue of the day today is the war. We need a media that covers power, not covers for power. We need a media that is the fourth estate, not for the state. And we need a media that covers the movements that create static and make history.
Amy Goodman doesn't know her ass from third base. She's not a radio broadcaster.
My name is Amy Goodman. I'm host of Democracy Now!, which is a daily, grassroots, global, unembedded, independent, international news hour.
And let me tell you something, I'm a liberal. There's a lot of lefties out there that have got this, I'm not on 300 stations, so they're trying to hold me down. I beat Sean Hannity in Denver. I beat him in Seattle. I beat him in Portland. I beat him in San Diego. How many markets do I have to beat Hannity in before I get 200 or 300 stations?
Oh, shut up.
That's what this whole fairness doctrine debate and all of that is about, because there are a lot of shows like mine that are competing against and beating a lot of these right-wing shows, and yet we're on maybe, I don't even know, there may be 80 stations in the whole country for us to be on, and, you know, Rush Limbaugh's on 600.
This is sour grapes from liberals because they're losing in the most competitive media, talk radio. I note that the fairness doctrine will not apply to Hollywood movies, won't apply to TV, will it?
Albert, these people are right-wing conservatives. They don't care if you're a pig, they just care if you're a fag.
You don't think it's a free country? And not as free as it was when I was a kid, no.
I'm proud that Marienhoff defends Medicare and Medicaid in the Senate. I'm proud that he votes against every reckless Republican tax cut. With a blue team, and there's a real war going on. Josh, do you want the right wing to get their judges?
No, only in talk radio will there be this massive government regulation saying, oh gosh, Sean Hannity just said something nice about Rudy Giuliani. We're going to need the Kucinich team to come in and Hillary to come in. I mean, it ends up shutting down political debate.
You could see attempts made to manipulate the FCC, focus in on what this format does, try to silence our host, and try to do it in such a way that sounds good. The word fairness doctrine, who wouldn't like it to be fair? Let's be fair in America.
I don't know that the fairness doctrine is the way to address it, but I think fairness is.
But the problem with the fairness doctrine is not fair, because it really targets one little slice of the pie and tries to shut us down. How's that fair?
Well, I mean, what I'm hoping is that the threat of the fairness doctrine, makes companies be fair. So, I guess that would be a non-legislative way. I think that certainly companies have an interest in shall we staying on the good side of the party in power.
I'm the number one lefty out there. None of these talkers here are as connected to the Obama camp as I am. No one's talking about the fairness doctrine except the conservatives.
I do believe in fairness. I remember when there was a fairness doctrine.
What I've asked is for our committee's work to include a revisiting of the fairness doctrine.
Would you revive the fairness doctrine?
Well, I'm looking at it, as a matter of fact, Chris.
The bottom line is the media is already left-wing. You have 3 networks, 2 cable networks, most major newspapers in this country that slant solidly to the left.
With the fairness doctrine in place, individual citizens have the ability to step up. Go to the TV station, go to the radio station and say, look, we've examined this and we've seen that you're not doing things in the right way.
They're out there and they don't like the fact that people choose to listen to an alternative source, so they want to silence it. We see it with McCain-Feingold, we see it with the Fairness Doctrine. It's about silencing political opposition. And so I'm saying that if they do that, they're silencing the voice of the American people.
Being born in Soviet Union, living in Soviet Union 33 years, and when I left Soviet Union, I left as a mature person, and I still remember all of this, and I've seen all of this, stuff what media can do, what propaganda can do, what government can do using propaganda with the population. And I think this is the very, very dangerous for the people and for this country, for the United States, going to this direction, to give government opportunity to control media. Just imagine if in the Soviet Union, back in those days, I will try to call somewhere regarding this, I'll be smashed. I probably won't exist. I probably won't be able to move to the United States because I would be buried somewhere without even crossing. This is the power of media. This is the power of talk show.
Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy.
Stand with me!
And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment, the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution.
Freedom of speech is inherently subversive. And whenever you start talking about fairness doctrine and government setting up even cursory regulations, beware, beware. The government is not your friend. The government control is not going to create more freedom of exchange of ideas. It is inherently going to create less free exchange of ideas.
Government likes to have control over everything that its citizenry hears. If you go to Korea or Iran or the former Soviet Union or even China today, you'll know that almost everything that you get in newspapers or TV or radio has been heavily censored and controlled by the central government. In America, we set up a very different society. Thomas Jefferson believed deeply that all sorts of opinions, even dangerous opinions, had to be tolerated if we were going to live in freedom. And we shouldn't be afraid of that diversity of opinion.
These pompous, arrogant, power-hungry politicians that have done everything they can do to smear our troops, undermine their morale, embolden our enemies.
They would prefer to take Osama bin Laden, drag him out of his rat hole in those caves of Afghanistan and Pakistan and make him a rock star with the Grecian formula in his beard. They can't wait to see the pearls of evil dripping from his lips on Al Jazeera TV. They made him a rock star like Bill Clinton.
Went in, they said don't retaliate because if we retaliate, the terrorists will retaliate. Yeah, don't make those people mad. They might do something crazy.
When is the last time that a liberal has said, I love America? I never hear them say it. When is the last time you've heard a liberal say, I love the United States military? I never hear them say it. We are facing to the 7th century, there is no negotiating. There is no diplomacy. They only understand one thing, and that's fear. You liberals out there with your video YouTubes, you make sure you get every damn word that I'm saying.
What kind of